It allows you to play around the bot lane after level 6 very easily, and his roaming is powerful. So it has been an effective pick, therefore it makes sense, but it's very early on they do it.
We'll see what comes through. A couple of top lane bans coming in now as well. Kled and Ken both off the table. We'll see, still plenty of time to go. Nothing to really show us what the comp's going to be just yet.
But it does mean a lot of our standard high priority picks are actually open right now. LeBlanc, Karma, Lulu, Lee Sin, like all these picks are right now available. And obviously you can only get one on blue side with your first pick, and there's going to be two on the other side. So it's going to be interesting if you risk giving like Lulu Karma. Not in this case, if Karma's gone.
I don't always say one. If you can do it right, you can get two again on the backside. You can get 3 S-tier champions blue side if you play your bans right. And again, not a lot of S-tier bans. So Lulu, the premier support left on the table. You can trade junglers back and forth. Lee and Graves, I think not really a big problem here. And we'll see what kind of priority these players put on things like mid laners and top laners.
Yeah, I actually find that Karma ban then really interesting from Team WE, not just trading Lulu for Karma.
Yeah, I mean, Karma definitely has been one of their biggest flex picks as well with GA in the mid lane.
Because they kind of want to play both Lulu Karma, so they should be fine getting either one and then get their #1 jungle pick. Ashe is available. There's been a big pick here for Mystic. Mystic gets actually the AD carry who gets the most CS per minute. A lot of it comes from his Ashe and his strong laning phase with Ben, so I would like to see that here from him.
It's worth pointing out that we can see WE here actually puts Graves above Lee Sin, unlike what we saw from our 2 previous matches. And hovering an early Nami grab, they don't need to very quickly, but if they want to make sure they can match roles and get a chance at counterpicking more of the roles, that might be what they go for. Especially when you consider that Mystic has been one of the primary carry forces for the team. If you wait to make sure his matchup looks good, to give him a Twitch or a Kog'Maw that he can excel in, that can be part of the formula.
Still interesting, obviously he is the 3rd most played champion by Ben, so it's not a new pick from Team WE, but they do put a lot of focus on this bot lane. Make sure to have a strong laning phase. Like, that's kind of what Nami offers. She's not very consistent outside of lane when it comes to like proper disengage. It can happen if you're really good with your skill shots, but there's so many times where someone jumps out of your bubble, flashes it or whatever, and then you're just kind of useless.
Exactly. I mean, there is a big difference between the average Nami and the extremely experienced Nami, but even so, as the extremely experienced one, it becomes difficult. You have to have setup to layer those CCs. Meanwhile, on the other side, as we talked about, Gragas, such a big pick, 4-star for the Marines altogether, and they are able to get it on that backswing freak, kind of like you're talking about the first 3 picks there.
It's interesting to me as well, speaking of champions in the backswing, actually, wow, Kha'Zix grabbed up with no jungle bans and only the Graves taken away. Very interesting that Levi wants to do that. But seeing no mid laners picked with no mid laners banned, the entire pool's open and no one's at a rush to grab the best one up.
So whenever we have seen this kind of pick and ban phase, LeBlanc gets removed in the 2nd ban phase. Unless you want a blind picker, and I think you can do that if you're Team WE, but GA and LeBlanc is something that has worked a few times for them. I like to see him more on like control mages than actual LeBlanc as an assassin.
Also, I think WE were just waiting to see if the Marines were going to go with the Gragas or the Rumble until they lock in this Shen. As soon as they see that Gragas, they want to lock that Shen down. It feels like a pre-planned strategy here for the pick bans to actually bait the Gragas pick because they know that it starts most played, favorite champion.
What's funny is I would have liked to see not the Kha'Zix grab there because you've got they're not going to ban Kha'Zix in the 2nd round of bans almost definitely, right? And you get to theoretically flex the Gragas to, well, not support anymore, probably not because Lu's going down there, but we have seen Gragas jungle work. It's not been popular, it's not really Levi's style, either more of a carry, but leaving that open as an option is something that I always like a lot, to bait the Shen and be like, just kidding, it's jungle, here's a Rumble matchup.
I think for them, they just wanted pure comfort, and Kha'Zix has been one of the comfort picks for Levi, even above Lee Sin, that other junglers has picked as their #1. It's been like Graves, Kha'Zix were the 2 best ones, and he got one of them.
Talk about the main picks that people are surprised that the Marines have continued to get. Kha'Zix is right up there with the Gragas and the Ziggs. Those are definitely those comfort ones you're talking about. Here come the extra bans though. Kog'Maw as well as Varus whittling down the 80 carry pool, but Ashe still available like you're talking about before.
Ashe, and then you can last pick your mid laner, or you go for that LeBlanc, also with the Syndra ban right here for Team WE. Optimus, obviously, I think actually has been a very good Syndra player, but also been a good LeBlanc player. That's why I don't really want to see Team WE give it over to Gigabyte Marines unless they have a very specific counter in mind. Kassadin actually being removed is one of the potential counters to LeBlanc used by GA. So if he doesn't pick it here, then he's going to give it for free over to Gigabyte Marines. So it almost has to be the LeBlanc login, and then you can last pick AD carry. Ashe if you're boring, something funny like Twitch if you're cool.
something funny like Twitch if you're cool.
Well, you know he's super biased, right? Twitch is like his most played champion.
Yeah, come on, Twitch is awesome.
Yeah, you smell like it too, so we'll
Damn,
I'm
man,
glad
that got personal.
The two of us.
Honestly, though, people may be surprised, like, oh, why would they ban out the Kassadin and leaving the Blanc right there? I think the Gigabyte Marines, they're willing to make this trade, right? Because we talked about the Ashe still being up, and they expected Mystic to go back to his Ashe. However, W think that this is the more important with the Kassadin off the table, and they do make the trade, stealing that LeBlanc, you know, and giving away the Ashe to the Marines.
So Marines right now can either put Lulu mid against the LeBlanc, which is kind of how Lulu mid started again, and then pick a support right now against the Nami. Could be the Bard that we've seen before from Archie. Could it be Sona that we saw in the play-ins as well? They are actually doing that with the supporters, so they're putting Lulu in the mid lane.
Okay.
Not the standard Gigabyte Marines comp, where Optimus is not on something where he can really carry the game, but they value the laning value here of Lulu.
Exactly. Nice look here from the Gigabyte Marines. They do have pretty substantial crowd control in the bottom lane as well. So wondering what they are going to stick Mystic on now that he does have the fewer choices. Going to go with the long range, much more safe.
Oh, he's cool.
No. He's cool.
He's so cool.
He's playing Twitch and Deficio's excited.
He's cool. This laning phase sucked for him, by the way.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I would go with the longer range, the safer Caitlyn lock in there.
Yeah, but then you're not cool.
Exactly. He's cool. You know, he likes to live on the edge. He's a bad boy.
He's definitely a bad boy right now.
Okay, so you know what bad boys have to watch out for, though, Deficio? Is level 6. The cops, also level 6, because Ashlyn Desira with Ignite is huge kill potential, even with Nami, with the healing coming through. Try and cut that in half.
But he has his homie, Shen top lane, who might join the bottom lane.
That's true.
Suddenly there's the man who no longer has a cigar as well in the jungle, Graves.
The benefits of being a badass, you have more friends.
You have a lot of friends right now. So Team WE actually build a composition right now that can play around the bottom lane really easily. Like, it's very easy for LeBlanc to roam bot lane with her mobility, pushing out the lane. Graves, of course, as any jungler, can take me for bot lane, and then Shen ulti. They're basically saying, Mystic, you've been doing pretty well so far. We want to make you look good right now on this Twitch.
All right. We'll see how good the look is. Coach is going to leave the stage now. Shake hands, and it's now to the 5 players on each team doing battle in one game to decide who's going to take it home. WE can stand alone in second place at 3-2, which is a pretty important place to be. Gigabyte Marines need this one to stay alongside the rest of the pack. They'd only beaten TSM so far in this one.
Oh, it's actually the 80 carry Nami.
Yeah, okay. So obviously a small graphics mishap, but regardless, it's going to be a fun one, though. Gigabyte Marines have consistently gotten out to very good early game leads, and with the amount of engage tools they do have, you figure they can actually maybe close it out. They've got a Gragas for engage, they've got a Lulu to help facilitate that. Ashe Arrow is good as well. When we talked about their failure to close out against Flash Wolves because they're running around with a Galio and it's not quite working out for them, now they have hard engaged tools to close out the early games with.
Yeah, my eyes are definitely on this Lulu matchup because, you know, the question will be, yeah, we've given a lot of support to Optimus and given him a lot of praise. Is his Lulu on the faker Lulu level where you're very willing to run it into the LeBlanc and he's taking a 9? Is he going to be able to, you know, actually get this early ball moving that we're so used to from the Gigabyte Marines?
He's doing what Power of Evil did in Europe when he played this match for the first time with running Ignite and saying, you know what, I can actually try and kill you early on. Like, always look at like level 3, level 4, there is legit kill pressure for Optimus, and quite a few mid laners has been surprised about the amount of damage, but I feel like Lulu mid has now been stable for at least a few weeks, and you can no longer really be surprised.
Also, Xie is definitely comfortable on this LeBlanc. He's definitely one of the most practiced. Have been impressed by it in the past. Here we go on the bottom side, though. Slay moving in, and he's been able to gain some ground.
He gives it away right away.
What they're really trying to do, though, by the way, with that gaining ground, you want to plant seeds in the ground.
Yes.
It's the whole opportunity here, and
actually stepped on.
He actually hasn't been able to get very good spawns of those seeds.
No lane swaps. I'm surprised. Gigabyte Marines running lane, so 2 games in a row.
Here's the thing, I think if you're going to do lane swaps, though, you do it on the same day and then stop. Because you know every team is against you. It's like, okay, we got to learn how to do lane swaps. You're like, wait a second, they're not doing it. And you make them learn it, but you don't actually let them use the skills.
I also just want to say Gigabyte Marines actually played the lane swaps really poorly in their games.
But their opponents played them also very poorly.
That's fair, that's fair. Like, I've seen Fnatic play lane swaps. You can definitely execute them. You will always fall behind in gold, though. That's kind of the problem with them, and why a lot of teams will not actually lane swap.
infiltrative farm so far in the bottom lane. First push did go to the Marines down in the bottom lane. Ooh, nice dodge. Nice Glitter Lance. She seems to be winning that trade right now. Nami, of course, an extremely good early laner. The exhaust is on. Traded back into Mystic, who should not have gone into that one. You cannot waste exhaust in the support. And the kill comes through. First blood to the Marines, looking for a bit more. Slay on the chase. One more auto, but Ben's gonna flash away.
And look at that, the perfect turnaround. Made it right in, and Achi just plants right up. Immediately auto there. Slays goes on the offensive, and their bottom lane gets first blood.
You cannot exhaust a support in a 2-on-2. That is not how League of Legends works.
Look at this too. They're trying to draw them clearly over to their seeds.
That will never
as
work.
soon as he's in range for the seeds, boom, they both go up. Exhaust goes down, and the Gigabyte Marines get another first blood.
Well, good for them to play it right, absolutely, but there were like 7 things wrong with how WE played that all in. Miserable in a lot of ways, but hey, a lead now for Slay, and Marines keep getting good early games.
You're laughing at my gaining ground to plant seeds there, but able to bait them into it. Now on the top lane.
Go start getting some damage. They're 957, half HP on both. Gets away from the taunt. Okay, breaks through the shield pretty easily. That forces a flash pretty cleanly. Nicely done by the Marines with the top lane gang.
I love that little dodge here from Levi as well. Every single Gigabyte Marines game, I feel like it's just super entertaining because there's always so many things happening in the early game, and it's fun to see how every team is trying to adapt to it. Some are drafting like a lot of early games, trying to match them. We saw G2 yesterday have to go like late game against them and beat them there, which is what most teams have been able to do. Now let's see. First blood against Twitch. It was already a pretty risky lane to pick Twitch into.
Yeah.
And you didn't misplay level 1 as well and get completely outplayed. Well,
he's a badass though, to fish.
he's definitely a badass.
Badasses give first blood. Is that your strategy?
He doesn't care. He doesn't care about the system. Wait for it.
There's.
He got sent to jail. Now he's on parole back in lane, but you know, 3 strikes and you're out. Be careful about this one, Mystic. Steal cheese at your own peril. Kobe's groaning. He's visibly in pain off of that one. I agree. It was terrible. I'll stop for now. 600 gold lead for Marines. They're holding up in lanes otherwise. Condi, nice steal on the Raptors down here. Doing okay for himself. Good smite. Got to reset the rest of them, but that's fine. He's still ahead on Levi, but be careful. Optimus is here. He's landed into a cupcake and he's just gone. WE continuing to overstay.
What'd I tell you about stealing, freak?
Yeah. And now 2 members of WE have been sent to jail for improper theft. Caught out by the cops. The bad boys not working, cigar or not. Apparently, we're going to keep that one going for now.
I don't actually understand these junglers here. They've obviously been playing for, you know, many, many years. Played a lot of scrims, a lot of solo queue, a lot of games on the big stage. And the classic mistake of going in to steal the Raptor camp when your mid laner is not pushing his lane, I don't understand how it can keep happening. Like, there must be like a million coaches around the world trying to kind of show the junglers, do not do this. And it just again and again and again. Like, Condi was sitting there trying to take away the Raptors, and then, of course, Optimus will roam down first and just 2v1 him.
Completely agree, and we have yet to find the answer.
Have you ever made that mistake, Kobe?
No, I don't make any mistakes, obviously.
That's fair.
That was a close attempt right there. Condi could have gone top lane for his Krugs, the only jungle camp that was up, but the Cosmic was waiting for him, and he realized Levi was around. And this time around, he was safe enough to not go for it, but it means that Levi's rewarded with a steal on the Krugs. 957 not yet gankable. The wave's too pushed in.
Yeah, I mean, he's sitting about, 70% HP, not quite diveable yet. But whenever you think that, Gigabyte Marines do surprise you, right? I mean, are just at level 6. It's very low on mana. But the possibility is there, and you do have to be careful because, the badass friends are about to hit level 6. Shen, once the comes in.
Needs to go bot lane if possible, but yeah, I think actually Stark were trying to bait out the W from 957 right there. If that had been down, maybe you go for it, but again, it's risky. Gigabyte Marines is a team who never takes any risks.
Never.
Right?
No. They are the most risk-averse team here.
Of course. Hey, this game they've been playing pretty safe. They've just been punishing mistakes from WE.
Yeah. They've just been playing smart. I mean, they've been playing appropriately. They've been playing correctly. And yeah, as you were mentioning, punishing the mistakes. So good League of Legends out of Marines. WE playing with, maybe you could say, disrespect. And at what point do teams realize that these teams coming out of the emerging regions are worth respecting and playing against properly?
Too late.
Yeah.
That's when the answer. Regardless, Mystic trying to get back into this lane, and they're approaching that level 6 area. As we mentioned, the Same Knight is available, but Stark on Gragas, multiple ways to knock Shen out of it. The shield will go through, maybe the ninja won't.
Yeah, exactly. It's not just, you know, make a play bot lane, Shen ultis in, and it's all perfect, because then you can see the Gragas is pushing top lane. He will just take the tower. Or, as you said, Kobe, right there, he might interrupt, you know, the TP, and then suddenly Shen doesn't join. So very often teams actually want to go top first, try and get the Shen to push out the wave, maybe like, you know, force a recall, force a teleport from the Gragas back to his lane, and then you make the play. If Gragas is TP ready, which is up in just like 20 seconds or something, then he can just TP with the Shen and also go bot lane. So it's not just, you know, making a play super easy and it's a kill. Teams rarely actually do go to the Shen lane though. They kind of just forget Shen exists. They let him sit up there and then they just use his ulti. And then they actually see, often he just loses his tower. And if you don't get anything from the Shen ulti bot lane, well then you fall behind.
Condi's got his eyes on those Raptors once again. Mid lane though, pretty even, so I don't think they have the extra power to move in.
Oh, he learned.
And Optimus even coming over to make sure.
We're proud of you, Condi. You finally learned.
They're waiting for a bit to see if they wanted to play for the war that was placed down recently by Condi. Those are going to come down just yet, though. Quick blue buff transfer, no big issues. That will give away Condi's position as soon as they see Xie has a blue buff. They'll know Graves is down there handing it over. Not really surprised, of course, they had seen him near the Raptor pit as well. But they do know definitively the respawn timer and exactly where the Graves is in the map. And now W will have the same information about Levi with Optimus.
So we got level 6 bot lane. Cutlass already completed for Slade. That is pretty good for him if he wants to look for any sort of trades right now. Like Zyra level 6 as well adds so much extra damage. It is going to be pretty easy for Gigabyte Marine to control the bottom side, and they really only have to respect the Shen ulti. And if nothing happens from WE's side, they will just slowly lose the top tower.
Something to watch out for then. They can offload the lane pressure. Gold still solid 1,000 apart.
Also, as we're seeing the sight zone recalls come in from the supports, we enter the kind of dangerous part in the game where the supports are moving up and should be working with the junglers and the vision they already have to get those deeper wards, lest they be, you know, punished by the roaming mid laners.
Right now, Xie is having a pretty good time of his lane. He's getting pushed in because Lulu, and that's how she works, but Xie has been doing well with trades. He's actually up farm right now, up 5 plus the rest of the wave alive. He's pushed Optimus out this time around. And the Ignite Lulu, of course, is something that's kind of built for the 1v1 pressure. To be able to win those trades, hasn't been able to use that summoner spell to any effect. Xie will at some point get that teleport online and get to affect the sidelines with it. Arguably better than Optimus can.
Optimus is going for the supportive route with their themes here. I see a lot of other Lulu players actually just try and stack as much AP as possible. Then maybe later on get an Ardent Sensor if needed. But with this build, I'm expecting Ardent Sensor to come in second from Optimus, and he's fully committing to the support.
It also means that this item does nothing if you ever E offensively, because you have to shield someone to give them the heal, and you can only heal, I'm pretty sure, for as much as the shield was in the first place, and the base damage on that's only like 200 something, so it's not the sickest on mid Lulu for a while.
Yeah, and there is not another shielding support, you know. This is not the Lulu plus Karma, so Optimus would be the only one to do that. Here comes Condi, though, in the mid lane, gonna get a good burst.
Comes down for some good damage, gonna go for the self-ulti to knock up Condi. Still getting auto-attack pretty cleanly, flashes away for the chain. Not gonna get CC'd by Xie there, but still down a summoner spell. Good gank on the Optimus.
Yeah, Optimus was hoping he could actually save the flash right there by just using ulti and everything. Could otherwise just flash the wall instantly as he saw the Graves, but had to use it in the end. Also got chunked, so he's down about like 20% HP at the moment, but he's still going to be fine for the actual laning phase. I'm still looking at either that bot lane, make the play with the Ash Zyra, obviously respect the Shen ulti, needs to be done. But actually see instead is that play top lane we mentioned earlier.
Go looking for the play. Stark now running alone into the jungle. Condi's going to join him, jump over the wall, going to be an easy auto attack.
He just wants to buy time. On the bottom side of the map, the Marines have a power play. He's buying so much time that they're actually, you know, recalling on this chase.
Levi, Strangleforce is there, a lot of damage. Tidalwave's going to buy a little bit of time, but they're on to Ben, who does get the Shen shield. Did they have enough damage? They actually do not. He gets away with it. Now Slay forced to run for his life. Going to stay alive with 500. Levi wants back in. Here comes the rest of the fight as Stark gets the double knockback. The taunt's still going to buy some time, and 957 trades the kill back. But he's going to lose his life for that one. Still a worth it here on the side of the Marines, and they're going to find another one as Ben goes down. The solo kill for Optimus. Xie here to buy a bit back, but the only to keep him alive and can't do it in time. That is a kill picked up. 3 for 2. The long play here. Marines still coming out ahead.
Yeah, they were staying around a little bit too long under the turret, trying to take it down, and a good move there from WE. Xie does get back in for an extra kill, and they're still on the chase.
He can get Stark, flash E, go for the body, send the training back, and they get him. That is not worth it there. Now Condi has to reload. He flashed in to kill himself. The chases in for Levi, gets the shield, gets a bit of a heal as well, and Condi gonna have the blast cone to get out.
Yep, they didn't get the slow on him. Nobody else able to chase over, but GA does go down in that trade. And man, early game from the Marines, baby.
So we had that play top lane. That actually means the bot lane from WE just needs to leave their lane, otherwise they will get attacked, and that's exactly what's happening right now. They use the Shen ulti onto Ben, which is smart here to at least get 957 into the fight. But it's scary already now when you see the TP. Like, this should just be 2 kills for Gigabyte Marines and then nothing more.
Yeah, they are able to pick up the extra one here onto 957, and then because Optimus roams down, they go for the extra support kill, but then don't account for the extra members from WE that are still alive. Good attempt at the defense there, and they return right back to the scene of the crime.
Looking for not too much of this one, they're gonna be okay. Keep in mind, Mystic's flash is still down. It was down for the first Slay arrow. It came back up, going to use it again. Didn't seem to land over this one.
Exactly, that's the reason they were making the push with the extra members here. Ash Arrow attempt number 2. Not gonna find it.
Now coming into the tournament here, looking at WE, we knew, okay, this team could actually fall behind early game. And obviously we knew that this team would then come back late game. It's happening in the LPL very often. They're now playing against Gigabyte Marines and Levi. You can see stats on the screen right there. Very impressive numbers from him all around from the play-ins. But they're against this team that are used to getting early advantages, but then kind of fail the late game and how to close it out, which is exactly the kind of teams WE are facing in the LPL very often. They might actually be the same kind of situation here. Gigabyte Marines, they need to keep closing.
Good, Tyler gonna bubble. That could be enough for Ben, but he's taking a lot of damage back, and oh no, he's overextended. The damage wasn't there. Mystic couldn't get in range for one more auto. First turret goes down and no real bloodshed.
Another fun thing to note, well, as the invades just keep coming here, we'll wait for the action to pass here. Gonna blast cone over. This is still WE territory, and the Marines are moving in for the blue steal.
No Shen ulti right now for a few more seconds.
They should leave then, knowing that Shenlong's gonna be up enough. They go for the trade on Akani, he gets away with it. But 957 has the ulti basically in 10 seconds from now. If they time it well, they'll know the timer, but gotta leave soon.
All right, as we have space, then the Marines should be able to collapse back to the Drake to be able to actually get an objective for their troubles. I want to talk about timings, right? Because the interesting thing here with the Marines and the quick pace that they play this game, people often talk about, you have to be cautious of the teleport to the top lane and the Shen stand united, but the rapid moves from the Marines come in so frequently that the long cooldown is actually very important on the Shen ultimate. As of right now, though, Stark trying to interrupt Condi.
Good damage on him, heals a little bit from the smite on the blue buff, but still winning the trade a bit. Reloads, got some bullets. Here comes the arrow, not gonna land on a 1, but gets on a 957. Optimus still gets the kill with the long range Little Lance, I do believe.
Because the arrow that was actually not supposed to hit 957 smacked him right in the face. Then he couldn't actually ulti on the Condi to save his life.
Actually cracking up over that Ash Arrow, securing the kill by denying the shield, and that is going to be the Rift Herald.
Another Rift Herald here. Looks like it's going to Stark on this one for the top lane matchup. Nice bubble on to Slay. Shen arriving as well. No way out for Ash. Down he goes. And the bad guys get revenge here. Mystic.
Oh, he's
low to death.
Archie.
Oh, he pulled aggro.
No
He had
flash
poison on. Did he not drop aggro? Or did he have poison on Archie somehow?
Regardless, that's going to be enough for Archie to clear out the minion wave, so that's a big stopper.
Yeah, now top lane again, as we talk about, when Shen leaves the lane, Kragas can just go to the tower. Levi is there with him as well. This is the fight. Okay, so the arrow that is actually aimed at Condi is going to end up giving them a kill, because now the arrow will fly by, Condi will dodge it. Nice one for him in the face of the Shen, and then the Lulu damage is enough to actually kill the Graves.
That is pretty funny.
And that was actually WE making an intelligent, invid on the side where they just saw the Marines had more resources on the bottom. Jungler was accounted for, yet he's not able to get out. Stark makes a very good collapse on the low health Condi, and they're able to get the double buffs onto Lulu plus the extra kill.
Slay calling as soon as he shoots the arrow. Got him. Go for it. We're going to get him.
Calling for the fences.
Slugs him out right there. Let's see what we got. 3,500 gold lead. Marines. We've seen these leads before. They don't tend to close them out. They've only done it once. That was against TSM back at the beginning of the tournament.
They can't keep not getting away with this, though.
They can. I've seen so many teams have good early games and fail to close out the late. It's always a possibility here.
Yeah, I just have that feeling that we're going to get that kind of like WE versus RNG flashback from the LPL final where WE just falls 7k gold behind. You're like, this should be over. And then they find like a Baron or
yes, this is what your brain is telling you, but what is your heart telling you?
Kind of the same.
And compositionally, it does fit WE here. I mean, Twitch is going to outscale Ashe damage-wise, I think, with no problem. Ben is going to be a natural Mikhail's builder, so they can build the counters to the Ashe arrow. There's definitely tools here. Shen split pushing eventually just becomes really obnoxious to deal with. I think there are some good things that WE can rely on for the eventual comeback, if it can happen.
Luckily for the Gigabyte Marines, we are not late game yet. 17 minutes in, they have the goal advantage. As we so often see from them, they can engage and force flashes.
That's of course a better cooldown for the Ashe.
Yeah, it's a good flash, but look at the collapse here from start. He's going to get another.
Look at the damage output there. The assassination is in. Levi on the follow-through. 0-0-5 and 4-0-1. This top half has been doing so well for the Marines.
And they're going to be able to actually push a turret here. The minion wave killed off by Mystic, waiting in the brush.
A lot of damage to Akadi. The knockback, he does flash in time, but that's still a flash down, and Marines consistently burning larger cooldowns.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever Stark gets this Gragas, then he actually is able to have quite an impact on the game. And teams just don't want to ban it away for some reason. Now Optimus.
Nice flash, the follow-through is there, shut down, and a crucial kill over to Mystic. 2 of the 4 are on him. He's the one who's going to have to carry late game. So far, so good on that front. The mid lane turret had gone down. Yeah,
interesting. There's a possible power play as Xie is actually rotating up behind them on LeBlanc right now, and Shen Stan United is available.
Just the route. Xie is looking for more on a Stark who's not that tanky, only on No Magic Mantle. Headwave should land as well. Here's the chase. Bubble's going to come in as well. Look at the damage output. A quick disengage with the Strength of Thorns. Knocks up 2. Looking for a little bit more. Here comes the jump on Akani. Levi can't look at the damage. Flashes right back out. Our attack was blocked by the Shen Zone. Archie flashing out as well. Burning down the poison, but should stay alive for now. Won't get any kills in the rechase.
Yeah. Oh, the Marines are trying to fight off this 5v4 still.
Whoa! Dangerously close. Sub 30 HP. Thankfully did get some health back on that one, but that was close.
So they can actually do something with the tower here. Levi is still around. He's near the Raptor camp, 50% HP. Knowing him, he's going for this 1v5.
Looking for a bit more. Gets a slow, takes him down. Solo kill on Archie. That's one back. Looking for the
he's in there
as well.
He's
Levi wants in. Can't find the kill with the slow. But they do keep the turret alive, and here's the chase. Xie stunned in front of the turret. 2 more autos, 1 more. Can he get him? Yes, he does. Slay lives up to his name and takes him down.
Plus, they also sent Stark to the top side. They got an objective while going for that 1v5 defense.
Oh, come on, Levi, man. He's going to take that one every time.
It's in his genes. He's got to do it. Now into the mid lane they go. Tier 2 going to fall rapidly.
To be fair, he did wait for the Lulu shield to be happy. It wasn't.
Yeah, 1v5, 1v5.
Okay.
We didn't see it on camera. It was a 1v5. Trust us, everyone.
6,000 gold, the lead for the Marines 20 minutes in. This is a significant gold advantage right now.
All right, let's take a look at this 1v5 in the replay. Levi goes in, gets a knock up, the Q onto Mystic. Thunderlords for both himself and Optimus gain the kill. And then Ashe Arrow from Slay under the turret for the last shot, gets his autos and heals for the extra move speed to close the kill.
Mystic got so surprised he didn't even heal when Levi actually jumped in and killed him.
That's so fast.
Didn't even press heal, he just died. Obviously, Xie had jumped away, and yes, maybe Lulu was there to help as well. Yada, yada,
That's
yada.
a lot. It's pretty fuzzy. I don't remember either. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 1v5. That's how I remember.
Either way, though, good moves out of the Marines. They've continued to do so. The question is always, will they turn back into a pumpkin, or will the Cinderella story continue in this game? Stark chunked up, but he's tanky enough. A bit of an unneeded ulti, but better safe than sorry, I do suppose. You can't really hate him for it, but Conti looks like got the blue buff over to his mid laner. Xie got that with his Mystic Orb.
This is actually dangerous. The Marines have Optimus spit pushing on the Lulu down on bottom side, but remember, he took Ignite, as you said. He doesn't have the teleport, and they're going to try and defend this and gain that pressure on the bottom side. He's going to get it all the way to the turret.
Small army with him as well. Xie and Shen on the way, but right now WE are kind of behind on the play, because when they go to defend here with 2 guys, they obviously leave the rest of the map in favor of Marines.
Lands the chain into Optimus. The HP bar is low. Knockup's not going to stop the taunt out of 957. He's chunked down. 1 more spell will do it. He's going to be done. And there's the kill coming through to Xie.
These are the reasons that a lot of these leads do kind of just float away from the Gigabyte Marines. Late game, he's split pushing up so far and stays at the turret, even though there's no pressure on the other side of the map. When doing that, you need similar levels of pressure in the cross-map play.
WWE buys some time. They buy some time to scale up. They buy some time to catch back up in this game. The game couldn't keep going at the pace of the first 20 minutes. They were bleeding gold when that was happening. So, catch some breathing room. Mystic needs to finish that second item. Still no Hurricane just yet for him. He's got the money to combine it, I do believe. So, just enough now for a second item spike. Slay going towards a Hex Drinker to be able to withstand LeBlanc damage, which will slow down the multiplicative scaling of Ashe a little bit.
Still a very fun build by Optimus. Went for the supportive route and then went Death Cap. Obviously Death Cap is great on Lulu because it adds more to the shields and
right.
AP.
It's the most supportive AP item you can buy.
Yeah.
I want to see if he's going Lichbane for dueling or Lucian's Echo as one of the raw AP items.
Exactly. You can also
Or Ardent Sensor.
deal more damage, means you're going to heal more with your Athene.
I mean, obviously, at this point with the Death Cap, it almost feels like he shouldn't go Ardent Sensor. Just keep sticking to the AP route now because your damage is actually relevant. It's very relevant against a lot of the guys on the side of WE. Both Luden's Echo, especially Luden's Echo actually, for extra burst if you want, but obviously then it gets a bit weird as AP Lulu, because then do you go Void Staff later, even though you technically are aiming a lot of your spells also on supporting, so you don't really want the magic penetration. It's always a little bit odd when you build full AP Lulu.
Yeah, also a little bit odd, the trade that Marines are making right now. They let this top tower fall in favor of farming the jungle on this side with Levi, but not really gaining, again, a lot of pressure on the other side of the map. They push up the minion wave in mid, they push up the minion wave in bottom, but no real turret damage has been dealt yet, and there is defense in place for WE.
Yeah, they've been so slow with this push bot lane that they don't even get to the tower, because now you can see WE has already recalled and returned out on the map, so once again, an overall macro mistake from the Gigabyte Marines that now give a bit more gold over to WE.
Yeah, what they did was farm out the enemy jungle, but it doesn't really remove too many options from WE. Oh, the Asher are actually aimed at Mystic, but doesn't get any summoners.
And it's also putting gold on your 5-0 Kha'Zix or giving gold to your entire team, obviously by killing the tower right now. But we have seen whenever it's like Gragas, Kha'Zix on the side of Gigabyte Marines, they've been able to get these big leads. Two very key champions for them so far. And it's funny, whenever Stark, as we said earlier, has kind of been left on any other champion than the Gragas, it's not been great. But on this champion, he's actually able to make plays.
I agree, and that's one of the beauties of longer form tournaments like this, is you get to watch the first round robin and say, okay, we can refine our champs like the next time around, and it's always fun looking at the rematch to see what they change and the pre-game selections here.
Another tower now.
Yeah.
No Ash Arrow for this.
Nice knock up there on Ashia, but actually pretty durable overall. Looks like the clone took many of the attacks there, so it's an ulti down from Optimus.
Here's Stark.
Stark looking for the flank play, gets on the Mystic, explosive cast, lets him flash away in time. They don't find Conde either, a nice taunt, and that's the tank just getting shredded now. Not quite knocked down, those Stranglethorns gets a nice big knock up. They don't quite get the kills yet though, but look at the damage of it coming through from Slay. Flashes forward, he's trying to get it, and they can't quite make it happen. They all slink away with a sliver of health, and WE able to find the first kill here. Levi needs to get the shot, and he's gonna make it a trade kill. Bot laner for top laner, and now support as Benzer picked up as well. The chase is in. Can they find Xie? Not just yet. Glitterlance gets a bit of damage, but he's gonna stay alive. +1 though. Marines able to keep pushing.
And Slay, he saw that triple kill right in front of him, but he sadly went down in the end. It doesn't matter though, because Gigabyte Marines, they want more.
They're gonna pick up Mystic, and they will do so. The forward chase is there with the last bit of mana. Levi comes in and gets it picked off. Ocean Drake for the region, helping to keep push. That's gonna be an inhibitor turret down at 26 minutes. Running away from the inhibitor, they're gonna back off before the reset comes through.
And what a powerful move up the front line there. I mean, as you're saying, Slay saw it in his eyes.
Oh, he had it right there.
The Runons with the Ashe just almost 1v4ing right there, but let's take a look at the chase.
This is really smart by Mystic that he actually saves the flash, because new Gragas, you actually don't have time to body slam and then ulti people. There's always a little room to flash in between. That's why Mystic saved his flash right there and used it after, once he saw the Gragas ulti.
Great zoning there with the Zyra ultimate during that, because they were
I see it too.
So dangerous. Yeah, the Ashe with the Q proc and Runons going is actually a beautiful sight. Regardless though, here's the 4v5 turnaround. 957, a little bit ambitious. There was vision for the Marines on the outside.
Xie delivered picks
Yeah.
into range of Ben. I didn't actually notice that. I was wondering how he got the kill because he was so far away, but he had already put the E onto LeBlanc, who had distortion back and then got smacked.
The two, star players for the team, Levi and Optimus make this turnaround a reality, and they actually break the inhibitor turret. One of the crucial things that has stopped the Marines from finishing out their games where they get these big leads.
Need to get Baron. It's always the objective. They're kind of like hovering around 10 minutes, and it becomes even fights. The team that's behind, they get a lot of gold, they get items, and then the Baron is just suddenly not working out for Giga Marines. Like this time around, they got the wards around it, tons of wards. They're actually starting it at the moment. They're trying to force a fight.
They have a 7-kill Kha'Zix here that will rip through the Baron. Here comes WE though.
Down 3 doesn't help. Condi's in range, does not have flash knocks to win. There should be enough time. Well, and this fight's gonna come through. Zyra secures, but a kill traded back. It's a 1-for-1 though. And 4v4 with Baron. Gigabyte Marine still chasing on for the one more attack on the bend. They'll kill him off. Slay in the front, staying alive. The shields, the heal. He will not fall. And they're gonna kill absolutely everybody. Gigabyte Marines smash the fight.
Dark with the huge intercept onto Condi, ults him away, then body slams over the back of the wall. They leave Slay and Optimus, the squishy backline, in the pit by themselves, and they fight their way out.
And now they can push for so much more. Mid lane wave gonna crash. The turret's already gone. The inhibitor is a formality.
Do they have any minions?
Respawn timers are 10 seconds. They're not getting more than the inhib, but they can reset it.
Yeah, Levi could usher them up with the Baron, but it's way, way too early in the game to look at the Nexus turrets. Those things are not gonna go down quick enough for the Nexus. As well, they don't give very much money, so you get the secondary one instead.
They got the Baron though. They even got a ton of kills with it. Again, this has been the one objective that's kind of hurt them during this tournament when it comes to closing out the games. But this was actually a really good setup. You talked about it, Kofi, with Stark obviously interrupting Condi, no chance of a Baron steal. And then Slay, he got his revenge. He got denied that triple kill before.
This is the last game of the first round robin. SKT are 5-0. Everyone else, here we go. Another fight onto Condi, looking to take him out. The Shendel not going to buy him. Not enough time. Maybe it will, actually. Just barely walking away. 957 in front, gets to the top. They can't get the kill on him. Condi in the jungle, but look at this top side fight though, looking for the kill onto Shen, the damage coming through, and they find it. Levi is legendary, 10-0-2 on the Kha'Zix. He is massive, and Stark barely takes damage. Speaking of massive on this Gragas, he's huge, and looking now at the top lane inhibitor turret. It's a 5 versus 4, staying healthy. Good damage to Condi. The turret's gonna fall though.
The Gigabyte Marines are playing so incredibly well. Just big plays from all members right now. Archie lands this there. Stark lands it there. They're going for the Nexus.
They're trying to close it out. 20 seconds on the Shen respawn. How much damage can they get? Bubble lands on Levi. Burst damage is there. They pick him off at the 4v4. They gotta be careful. Mystic staying alive. Just barely. But the fight continues anyway. Turret number 1 gonna fall. 10 seconds on the Shen, and Marines say this is a bit much for us.
Yeah, they're too close to the fountain right now. Mystic will return with full HP.
And he can stealth. They can look for something, but the recalls are going to be fast. And it will be WE staying inside the base to farm. But that's 2 inhibs down, plus one of the Nexus turrets. It's an easy reset, and in 25 seconds, they can repush.
All right, okay, this is the big play from Stark right now. Denying Condi entrance to the Baron pit, and then fight breaks out. Everyone is completely split up. You know, 2 guys from Giga Marines on one side, and then Slay, he closes his eyes, activates his Q, and he just fires away.
957 misses his top flash there. That's why Slay is able to kill off the DPS.
Oh, rough.
Oh my goodness.
That's karma. Again, he was denied that triple kill. Got his revenge.
Oh, he did in a very big way. And what comes with it, Deficio? More than half of the WE base.
There's only 2-3 turrets standing left. Bot lane tier 2 is actually still alive. The Nexus has less turrets than the bot lane does right now.
Do you guys realize we will actually have 5 teams
at
2 and 3 if
yeah.
Gigabyte Marines can close out this game? 5 teams at 2 and 3. And then, of course, SKT sitting.
That was the story coming in to a certain extent once we started seeing these teams playing. SKT are number 1, and then 5 teams who are going to be equally matched. You have to assume Marines do close this one out. And now you cannot really mock anyone for losing to anyone else because there is absolute parity in the group stage. Any of these teams can make it also into the top 4. We had Peanut predict that it was everyone minus Marines and minus TSM. We've had predictions for everyone else power ranking all these various squads.
There they go. She is on the outside, but Stark plays front line.
Here we go, stun onto Mystic. There comes the dog pile. He's deleted immediately. 2 for 0. There's nothing else to do. Archie gonna stay alive for a bit longer. 957 next up. It's only Chie. That is it. The 4-5-way tie for second. Gigabyte Marines knock down the LPL's WE. 14-1-3 for Levi. And we've got 5 teams tied for second.
Oh, it's just insane. the fact that we have 5 teams, the exact same score right now, and as you said before, it's honestly impossible to predict who will make it out.
The Gigabyte Marines played so incredibly well this game. This was actually insane. Domination from beginning to end.
We talked about
members.
We talked about them not always being able to close, Baron being an issue. They had a perfect Baron setup right there with the Gragas. They got the Baron, won the following fight.
Who's the badass now?
Not
It's
the
Levi.
Twitch. Not the
Spoiler.
Twitch. Levi gets it for now with his 14 kills on Kha'Zix. But again, also WE, you know, giving over Gragas to Stark, that was a good performance from him. But everyone honestly played really well inside of Gigabyte Marines, and they got early advantages that they used to snowball and win the game. And WE just continue being like a massive question mark of inconsistency.
Sure.
Between looking like the second best team, challenging SKT in a really close game yesterday, to then running headfirst into a wall over and over and just dying everywhere.
Well, the good news is to finish here, they are the second best team, and so is every other team in the group stage right now. We are deadlocked here. The first round robin has taught us almost nothing, except for the fact that we've probably underrated Marines and maybe even underrated TSM. The squads we thought were probably going to be out of the bracket stage on the same footing as WE, same footing as G2, same footing as Flash Wolves.
Very, very tight. Like
I'm aware it's tight, but the fact that they are all on the same footing is going to be very compelling for the rest of the matches. Every single game is going to matter for the future, but now let's meet up with our analysts to talk about that incredible win by the Marines.
Thank you very much, Freak. 5 teams at 2 and 3. I mean, what more could we ask for in terms of setting the table for the second round robin to really determine things?
I would like SKT to be 3 and 3. And everyone could
You're
be
right.
3 and
Okay.
3.
All right. You're right.
But
We could have asked for a little bit
awesome,
more.
right?
It is. It is absolutely awesome. And here's the big thing, right? We had asked out of Gigabytes. We know that you can build early leads. We want to see you close one. Kobe said it there. Complete and utter domination here over the Chinese squad.
And I really just want to point out like 2 key plays that were just absolutely perfect from Gigabyte Marines, where they had failed in the past. They approach for that mid inhib, and they don't overreach for the Nexus. Before, Gigabyte Marines would overreach, they'd get punished by the spawns, and then WE would walk it back to Baron. And then they go for the Nexus towers. They take that one, like, this is it for us. We've learned our lesson. This looks like TSM, and they back out. You can see the growth there, and that's what's super exciting about this.
And a lot of teams here haven't really made adjustments day on day, and it's great and encouraging to see that one of these teams from a more developing region, from a region that's really starting to ply their trade at the highest level, is able to do that. So that's why it's a really cool thing, and now we get this big amount of parity. And if we saw Gigabyte Marines lose here, I think everyone would have the same storyline. Well, in the second round robin, they'll just be playing spoiler. Well, guess what? They're playing spoiler on being top 4 because they could certainly still be right up there.
They're absolutely playing to win, and it definitely feels like SKT is playing their game here. The only other team that's really playing to their level is the Gigabyte Marines. We forget that this is their 20th game at MSI. That's an entire split back in the day for a lot of teams in the LCSs. So they are so comfortable on stage and so ready to play their game. And at this point, everyone's saying, when are they going to adapt to the Marines? But they're forgetting the Marines are also adapting their own game. They're adding things to their champion pool. Lulu mid, Galio top. They continue to improve.
And speaking of adapting, Team WE should already be used to this. Like, hello, that was an LPL game in a nutshell. They play these teams all the time, and they just got run over.
Absolutely. Well, let's kind of walk it back to the beginning now. Let's take a look at the early game put together by the Gigabyte Marines. I mean, again, no surprise that they get off to a fast start here. Kills in the 2v2.
I mean, this is just 2v2 misplay, you'd have to say. First of all, the use of exhaust on the side of WE onto a support, and then, of course, predictably, the aggression comes through the Gigabyte Marines, and then Condi just getting aggressive.
But these are 2 classic things that have plagued WE for the longest time. A, Mystic does not play a lot of Twitch. He hovered the Caitlyn initially
2
in the draft
Korea
phase.
games, both losses.
Exactly. It hasn't been seen 2017 at all from him. And then Condi making aggressive invades without having the proper vision. But I know that this is negative on WE. Just look at Levi and look at Stark. They played so well this game.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll have plenty to say about what Team WE could have done better. We didn't like their draft phase. I don't think the Ziggs ban was worth giving over Lulu. I don't think the Shen was a good pick over Gragas. There's a lot of stuff we can say, but you do have to give props to the Gigabyte Marines because they have been the best early game team in the MSI group stage. That's now 5 games in a row they've gotten first blood and gotten a lead.
Yeah, you just want to appreciate it, right? Like, take a breath, take it all in, because they don't let you breathe during the game themselves, and so you kind of have to take a moment to internalize it all. But once again, you talk about growth, right? Not overextending, then giving the opportunity for WE to get back in with Barons. They also show composure around the Baron themselves. Let's revisit that Baron call. It was that sealed the deal, a clean objective, follow-up ace, brought to you by
You
Acer.
have to watch Stark here, who's on the ground, as that might be a question mark, but the fact that he leads with the barrel and is there to interrupt with the body slam. I cast the LCK, the best league in the world, and at least half our teams cannot pull off Barons as clean as this. They often make mistakes. We see MVP trading Barons against the flow of the games, game after game, week after week. To see such clean Baron takes from a team that often needs Baron to close with the comps that the Gigabyte Marines likes to pick up is really cool to see.
Yeah, also have to shout out Levi. Tremendous jungler against some of the best junglers from other regions as well. 14 kills on this Kha'Zix, the most we've seen at the 2017 MSI group stage so far.
Jack, I've got a sale for you. How about this idea? TSM Levi, wouldn't that be hype?
I'll talk to my people.
Yeah, you're getting ahead of yourself. Let's close out this tournament first. And hey, maybe at this point he's going to want to stick in that region and go as that pool 1 seed if they're able to achieve it. Real quickly, though, I do want to talk about, as Kobe mentioned, every member of this squad stepping up, because we've always talked about Levi. We've talked about Optimus in the mid lane. But let's look at the AD carry. Slay on Ashe, being a frontliner at times in some of those fights, right? Being aggressive and taking it.
He was doing a Prey cosplay a couple of times. We saw so much heroics from Prey going aggressive at Worlds.
Arrow.
And the arrows, like you say as well. It was the full package on the Ashe for sure.
Some of it just comical, but always working out in their favor. Final thoughts here, Jad, as we get ready for an interview?
Yeah, calling out Stark a little bit, because everyone always bans his Kennen, and people are infuriated the fact that he keeps getting Gragas. But at the same time, we talk about shielding support bans, jungle bans. If you're throwing 2 bans at a top laner every single game, who's getting 2 top lane bans every single game from around the world? He's performing on Gragas for sure. Still want you to throw 2 top lane bans at him, but you have to call out his impressive play on Gragas.
Absolutely, and while it was impressive play, we've said our piece, and now it's time to head downstairs where Shox is joined by the King of the North, right on side of the Rift.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined by the King in the North himself, Stark from the Gigabyte Marines, after closing out that game versus WE. And you guys close it out rather very swiftly, which I feel like is something you've been struggling with the past couple of games. So do you feel, Stark, that you guys are learning a lot and progressing a lot as the tournament goes on?
Thì mình biết là team mình gặp nhiều khó khăn khi mình kết thúc cái trận á. Thì trận hôm nay mình kết thúc rất là đẹp. Thì có phải là mình học được rất là nhiều điều để mình kết thúc cái game sạch sẽ như vậy hay không?
Dạ thì khi hôm qua khi mà đạt được rất nhiều lợi thế thì team đã không tận dụng tốt, nên là hôm nay team đã chơi chậm lại, kiểm soát tầm nhìn và khiến đối phương mắc sai lầm.
Yeah, so yesterday we got a lot of advantage, but we couldn't like leverage them. So this time we play a little bit slower and control all the vision and then get the win.
Wow, if that's playing slower, it was still very, very exciting. And you guys now tie up the standings under SKT. Everyone is 2 and 3. Have your own expectations shifted from coming in here starting as an underdog to turning into a team that can compete with the best? Are your own expectations growing, and are you hoping for a lot more?
Thì mình vào đây được đánh giá là mình thấp hơn tất cả các đội khác, đúng không? Thì cái bây giờ là mình đã bằng điểm với một số đội rồi, đúng không? Mình là 22 bằng điểm với rất nhiều đội rồi. Thì em nghĩ là trong hướng tới mục đích của mình là gì?
Thì mục đích khi mà đến đây là vươn lên cao nhất, nên là mục đích hiện tại là vươn tới top 4.
Yeah, so coming here, our goal is to go as far as we can. So our goal right now is to get to top 4.
Yeah, well, it's looking likely, and I want to talk about you specifically, Stark. Only been playing League of Legends professionally for 3 weeks and a half, I believe it is, or a month. And you're doing incredible things and going toe-to-toe with some of the best top laners in the world. What has this experience been like for you?
Thì mình đến đây á, được biết là em chơi Liên minh huyền thoại chuyên nghiệp được khoảng 1 tháng rưỡi thôi. Thì bây giờ em phải đối đầu với tất cả những người top laner khác trên thế giới rất là cầm cỡ. Thì em nghĩ sao về điều này?
Em nghĩ là em rất là hồi hộp và vui mừng vì đã học được những kinh nghiệm quý báu khi đối mặt với họ.
Yeah, he's very anxious, but happy at the same time that we learn all the best out of the best top laner in the world.
Well, definitely. I'm looking forward to seeing more of your play. Thank you. And congratulations, Stark, the Gigabyte Marines. They tie it all up 2 and 3 under SKT, that is. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more MSI 2017 from Rio.
Back at Mystic, who should not have gone into that one. You cannot wasting sauce on the support, and the kill comes through first blood to the Marines. Here comes the rest of the fight, and Stark gets the double knockback. The taunts are going to buy some time, and 957 trades the kill back, but he's going to lose his life for that one. Still a worth it here on the side of the Marine.
Hey, he's in there.
Well,
He's in
Levi
there.
wants in. Can't find the kill from the slow. But they do keep the turret alive, and here's the chase. GA stunned in front of the turret. 2 more autos, 1 more. Can he get him? Yes, he does. In the front, staying alive. The shields, the heal. He will not fall, and they're going to kill absolutely everybody. Gigabyte Marines smash the fight. 0. There's nothing else to do. Archie going to stay alive for a bit longer. 9-5 seconds.
They got it.
It's only GA. That is it. 14-1-3 for Levi, and we've got 5 teams tied for second.